Oh my God, this training comes from the conversations with my clients that I have had, and I'm so freaking excited to give you all this wisdom. This actually was like a topic last week. So, we're gonna be talking about what are the three marketing upgrades that you need in order to attract fully committed clients. And I want to tell you that the reason why this is so important is because I see so many amazing coaches. You guys, you know who you are. You are watching this. You're in my audience. I don't attract people who are not amazing at what they do because you guys are already confident in who you are, what you do. But what happens is that you start working with clients that are not the right fit. And what that starts doing is starts chipping away at your confidence and you start second guessing yourself that you think, I don't know if I'm a good coach, this client is not getting results or this client is not showing up the way that it feels like they're fully committed. And so you start looking at you as the problem. And we need to clean that up because right now the most important thing, no, right now, always the most important thing that you can do in your business is protect your confidence and really address the right problem. And so many times coaches start feeling that way, and so they start downgrading their prices or they start second guessing themselves in who they really want to work with, or they start getting certifications, they start feeling like they're not sufficiently equipped to serve clients, and that's where the self-doubt really takes them on a path that never had to be fixed, right? So we're going to talk about that. And while I do that, while everyone joins, I see some of you here. Tell me who you are. Not who you are. Tell me where you're from. Where are you tuning in from? I would love to know. Let me make sure that everyone is here. Okay, you guys are here on Facebook too. I'm on both platforms. I love doing double live streams. It's like the best, two birds with one stone. Also, I don't know where you guys are at, but I am here in LA. And what the actual situation is this? Do you guys see? This is it's cloudy, it's gray. I'm like, what is happening? I moved here for the sun, and I'm like, this is literally has been this way the whole week. So I can't wait for everything to come back to normal. Okay. All right. And if anyone is here in LA, by the way, I'm going to be hosting some events here at my house, like breath work and women's circles and entrepreneurial circles. So if you're in LA, hit me up. I would love to connect. All right, my love. So let's get started. So there are a lot of things I want to tell you, but the main thing is that we must protect your confidence, and this comes from you working with the wrong clients. So think about the time that you had a difficult client, and think about a time when you had an amazing client. How did you feel about yourself with the first one or with the second one? And give me in the comments, what is a feeling how did you think and what were your thoughts about you and how did you feel about yourself when you were working with not so a client that was not the right fit versus when somebody was the right fit? I want to hear in the comments what you guys were, how did you feel? Because a lot of the times from my clients, I work with people who are so good at what they do. They've been doing this for 5, 10 years, 3 years, whatever. They're just great at what they do. It doesn't matter how long they've been doing it for. And what happens is they work with the wrong client and then they start thinking, oh my God, this is not, they think I'm not a good coach or I'm not that good at this. I thought I was good at this, but I'm not actually that good. And when they are working with their best client, they're like, oh my God, I am going to be on a New York Times bestseller, multi-million-dollar year coming ASAP. It's not in question, right? Yeah. Okay. So Jason says, when is the right fit, superhuman and motivated. I love that. You feel like you want to get up and do your work and go and coach and you feel confident in your coaching. Tiffany says, with the right fit, I feel accomplished. I love that, Tiffany. You feel accomplished. You feel like you're on purpose. You feel like you're doing your best work. And think about when you feel accomplished, when you feel accomplished and when you feel motivated, how do you show up in your marketing? What do you do in your marketing that is different? I want to hear in the comments. I know for a fact that for my clients, when they're motivated and when they feel like accomplished, they are so connected to the words they say in their marketing because they're thinking about the right client, they're writing to the right client, and the right client therefore comes. And so the cycle just continues to elevate and elevate. And this is why in the Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind, which is, if you don't know anything about me, hi, I'm Juliana, and I help coaches clarify their message so that they can attract premium clients. And that's what I do in the Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind. When you look at the testimonials from that program, it's like almost unreal because there's such a shift and so quickly. And it almost feels like, wait, how is that possible that it happens? And it's because we really understand how to work with your best client. And that just creates a spiral of more and more and more because we shift the way you think about you, about your clients, and also the clients that you work with. So it just completely changes the paradigm that you live in. Tiffany says, I think you post way more and more vulnerable. Okay, I love that. Yeah, because you feel safe. You feel safe with your audience. You feel like the right people are watching. You feel like the right people are there. You're not like, oh my God, I'm not gonna get another one of those. I don't want to get another one of those clients. Like he's not the right fit. You're just not in that vibe. You're like, people here want what I have to offer. People here get the value that I want to bring in the world. People here are listening, they're watching. I just need one more client. If there's one, there's two, if there's two, there's three. And like, I'm just open to receiving the overflow, right? Have a comment here, says, great point. Yeah, we're all humans and we need approval, acknowledgement to thrive even more. Yeah, and the approval comes from you first, right? Like that's the most important thing. That's why I asked you, what are your thoughts about you when you're working with a great client? I'm not saying what are clients saying about you. That's different, right? But when you feel like you're working with the right person, the most important opinion is the opinion that you have about yourself. And so that's why the thoughts you have about you are like literally make or break your business. If you think like, I'm not good enough at this, I have so much more to go, I'm a baby coach, or like people are so much more ahead of me, all of that is literally going to keep you behind in your mind, because no one's ever really ahead or behind you. It's just your own perception of where people are at. Like you can decide today that you are literally ahead of the pack. You can just make that decision, and you don't need a permission slip. You just get to decide. That's what I did. I'm like, wait, I don't need to wait years for me to feel like I'm an expert. And I already had a lot of expertise in marketing that I had from like many years, but not in coaching. And I was like, I don't need to wait for another 5 years in order to feel like I'm competent at teaching marketing. And that's what in 2018, I made the decision literally that year. I'm like, I'm going to stop thinking that I don't have enough experience. I actually do. I've been doing this for a long time, maybe not in a coaching capacity, but I know that I can. And that year, things started just like literally my Stripe account that just like went like this, like this after I made that decision. So the thoughts that you have about you are the most important things. But anyway, let's talk about the filter. So let's get practical, let's get tactical, okay? So how do we elevate our marketing so that we attract highly committed clients? So the first thing that you want to make sure that you do is something that I call marketing that filters by values, okay? So I want you to ask yourself this question. What are the character traits of your best clients? What are those? Think about that. What are the character traits of your best clients? So I can tell you, for me, character traits of my best clients are people who know they're really good at what they do. They're competent. They could just totally go and do things on their own, but they don't want to wait. Time is of the essence for them. And so they value time over money. They value speed of acceleration. They want to get there faster. They don't want to like DIY things. They're not trying to buy like $97 courses. They're like, I want you to look at me in the eye and tell me what I need to hear, and I'm going to go implement it. I don't want to spend 5 years learning marketing. I just want you to tell me like what you see, and then I'm going to check in with myself and I'm going to go and execute. Right? So they are people who value being supported over doing it alone. Right? And so what do I do in my marketing? I say that. You guys, it's like that simple. You just say it. I know you actually have clarity around your ideal client, but you're probably not communicating it. You think about it, but you're not saying it. And like a lot of my clients are like, they're like, Juliana, how do I attract this type of client? And I'm like, well, have you literally said that? Have you literally said, for me, what I do is I talk about I literally say things like, okay, I know that you're an amazing coach. You're great at what you do. You could totally do this on your own. You don't need to be codependent. You want your own wisdom to be part of like your brand, and you just want a guide by your side to help you create the business that you really want, to help you elevate your marketing. And you're not trying to be saved. You're not trying to have a blueprint that tells you A, B, C, D, E so that you follow blindly. What you want is to really understand what's your unique pathway to have the best, the most aligned marketing message that's going to attract the right people. Do you notice what I did there? I started speaking to the character traits of my person. So I want you to get really clear, not on like how old they are and the demographics and all of that. Like that literally doesn't get you anywhere really. Like my clients, they're all over the place in terms of their age. It doesn't matter. It's about the character traits that you want, not just in your how they show up to your sales call, but also how they show up to your delivery, because that's really the most important part. How do you feel coaching a client in the delivery? I want to say something else here. I'm just gonna get some water first, and let me know in the comments, is this resonating? Give me a yes in the comments if this is landing. Katie says, I'm still spending so much time trying to create a freebie. Is this necessary? Hell no, you don't need a freebie. What for? I didn't have a freebie for like the first 2 years and I still had clients. You want clients, focus on that. Okay. Oh, also I have some questions from last week. There are 3 questions that you guys submitted. So I'm gonna answer them at the end. Okay, so if any of this feels like you want some guidance around it, I definitely want to invite you to apply for the Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind. In 3 months, I help you clarify your message so that you can elevate the quality of clients you attract to premium clients, and so that you walk away knowing exactly how to go from A to Z, how to write something that attracts people. When they raise their hand, how do you handle that moment, that conversation in a really elegant way? How do you pre-motivate them and pre-qualify them so that they show up fully like invested on your call? And even if people have fears on the call, I teach you how to really hold space for them so that they can make the most aligned decision for them. So it's like the last marketing mastermind that you will ever need. People come to me for marketing and for messaging, but really they walk away with a whole new life perspective. They walk away transformed. They're like, oh my God, my whole entire existence is just upgraded. Because I don't just teach you the tactics, I teach you also the energetics of embodying becoming a premium coach and being around people who value you because you value you so deeply. People who want to pay you a lot of money, and you being able to receive it and feel at ease with it and know that it's in alignment with the value that you bring to the world. So we do so much internal work as much as we do the practical work. Okay. So let's go with number 2. Oh, actually, one more thing that I want to say about marketing that filters by values is I want you to think about the value, your own values. So, for example, I have a wet nose. I'm like, what happened? I have a wet nose. I'm like, am I going to watch this live stream later and be like, oh my God, I have a wet nose? So what are your values? So for me, something that I value, and I look at like what has made me successful and whatever even before I was like super successful and I had a multi-million-dollar business, I looked at what has made me a strong woman, what has made me a woman that goes for what she wants, that really, even in the struggle, she shows up for herself. And for me, one of my values has always been decisiveness and self-trust. Like I have made some crazy ass decisions. Like I moved from Colombia to Australia when I was 17 by myself, and I had no one there. And I literally didn't even know how to speak. Well, I wasn't like perfect at English because, I was living in Colombia. I was so decisive and I trusted myself, right? I moved there. I lived there for 10 years. I got my citizenship, and then I was like, okay, I have the perfect life. Now I want to be an entrepreneur. And I had to let go of my job. I had to let go of everything. And I decided that I was going to build a company. And I built a software company. And then I moved to America by myself, and I left all my belongings in Australia. Like literally I had a return ticket to go back to Australia. On August 6th, 2014, I was meant to go back to Australia, and I just never did it. I decided that I was going to have my back and that I was going to honor what I wanted and I was going to trust myself. And so what I do in my marketing to attract people that are aligned is I tell these stories, and I tell stories that align with the values that I have and the values that my clients, that I want my clients to have. Like, I want my clients to be decisive. I want my clients to trust themselves. And I don't need them to be perfect. Like, I'm not asking for like full decisiveness, full self-trust. What I'm saying is I want them to have it in them to be like 50% there, to be like, yeah, I have so many doubts. I have fears. Oh my God, Juliana, but I know you can hold me in it because there's a part of me that really fully trusts that I'm on the right path and that this is meant for me and that I'm worthy of receiving premium clients and I'm worthy of making more money. Like, I know there's a part of me, like, I want my clients to have that part of them activated in some way, shape, or form. And so I tell stories that show when I didn't trust myself, how I trusted myself and the results that that created. And then that attracts the type of person that's like, yes, I get it. That's me. I know, like, and I want you to guide me because right now I feel a little bit like wobbly in my decision, or I feel a little bit wobbly, but I feel like you can hold me, Juliana, right? And so that attracts the right people. I literally work with people who make decisions. And so this, for you, for example, in your case, if you're a coach, you're doing sales calls, let's say, you really want to get clear on what are the values that matter to you when it comes to your clients, when they're aligned with you too. And when they show up on a sales call, when they show up on your delivery, in your actual coaching container, how would you like them to show up? And then what about you? Are you living by those values? Because we can't ask our clients to be someone that we're not. We just can't. You must be in integrity with your own values. If you preach, oh, I want people who are decisive, you gotta be decisive. If you preach, oh, I want people who like are compassionate and who like, are not judgmental with whatever, they're not pointing, blaming. Are you pointing and blaming? Are you doing what you want your clients to be doing, right? And this is not easy to get. This is a little wake-up call because sometimes we ask for all the things, but the question is, are you really being it? Right? So get clear on what you're asking for and are you really actually living it and breathing it? Okay? All right. More water. So let's move on to thing number 2. I could talk about this for there's so many things, you guys. In the Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind, literally I coach you for 3 months. Actually, I have a bonus now that if you join early, you get an extra 2.5 months of coaching. So that's like a total of almost 6 months of coaching if you apply now. So if you've been thinking about joining the Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind, there's a bonus that you get an extra 2.5 months of coaching with me weekly. Like, what? So this is the time to join. I've never done this before. Make sure you go and apply on my bio if you're on Instagram, or I'll put the link here in the comments for Facebook. This is for you if you've been literally eyeing it and you're like, oh my God, I want it, but I don't know if it's the right time. Baby, let this be your sign that this is the right time, because getting you can literally get started with coaching now in the cohort in September, then we start the coaching then. So you literally have so much time to get coached even before we begin. Magnetize. Okay, so thing number 2. How does the version of your ideal client think about the problem that you solve, and how is it important for them to change it now? Great question. And I actually just want to leave that question for you just to ponder on it. How does the version of your ideal client, the client that's committed, right? The client that shows up amazing, the best client you've ever had, even if you've just had one, how do they think about the problem that you solve? So for example, I help people clarify their message to attract premium clients. I help people creating a whole new relationship with money, creating a whole new relationship with themselves. But really, I help people with their messaging and their marketing, right? And attracting the right people. So how do my clients think about this problem? Are they thinking, oh my God, there's no way that I could solve this problem? Or let me just say what my clients are not thinking. What my clients are not thinking is there's absolutely nobody that would want to pay me a premium price. They don't think that. They think, I think there's a possibility. They have this like tingling in their bodies that they're like, I feel like there's a possibility that this is right for me. And I feel like I want more of that. I want more of that. I want to explore the possibility. And so they have curiosity. They're open to the problem. They see the possibility. And I want you to think about that for your own client. And the second part of that question was, how important is it for that to change? How important is it for them to change it now? Right? Like there are a lot of people who are not really interested in changing it now. That's totally fine. They might be later. There's no rush. There's no urgency. But I'm only in my marketing, I'm only going to be speaking to the people who are ready now, who really see this as an important thing for them to do right now. And you want to ask that question on your sales calls. Actually, that leads me to thing number 3, which is kind of more of a sales upgrade that I want to challenge all of you to implement in your sales. But on your sales calls, in order to attract highly committed clients, or in order to really create a space where a committed client is going to show up fully committed in the delivery, ask this question: how do you show up when things get hard? Ooh. You guys, like, are you willing to ask that question? Like, how does it feel when you think about asking the question, are you willing? How do you show up when things get hard? How do you, like, I want to hear in the comments, how does that feel to like have the courage to ask? So many of my clients are like, oh my God, I never imagined that. And I want to tell you that, wait, how long have I been here for? Okay. Perfect. I'm going to go in a couple minutes. So I want to tell you that one of the most important things that you can do to set the tone for your container is really not lean forward on your calls or like be the person that's convincing people to join you. It's like totally the opposite vibe. The vibe is, actually, tell me why you think that this would be the right program for you. Or tell me why you think that one-on-one coaching with me would be the best thing for you. Tell me why do you see that I'm the best coach for you? Like, literally. I have somebody saying, I just added that to one of my questions from one of your other lives and it's been transformational. Amazing. I'm so glad that you did it. Yeah, it's so empowering. It really allows you to have a balanced, energetic like exchange, because sales calls, so many of the times people feel like it's you about convincing people. And like, there's no need to convince when you are actually asking the person, well, we're exploring this as a mutual fit. So tell me why you think that this would be the best fit for you. Why do you think that this would be the most aligned decision for you? And then you just let them share, right? And then you want to get into the energy of like, I am assessing this for myself too. You don't need to be in this needy energy. And this is what happens when people like coaches and sales people, whatever, people get into this like, oh my God, I need this client. And I want you to know, you don't need anyone. You don't need a client. You are exploring a relationship with a client, and there are plenty of people that would want to work with you. There are plenty of people that would want to work with you. So many of them. That's not just what your thoughts are not saying that. Your thoughts are saying there's a limited amount, it's really hard. And when you have those thoughts, literally, how do you feel? You feel contracted, you feel scarcity. And when you feel scarcity, when you feel contracted, how do you show up in your marketing? How do you show up in your sales? And what result do you get from showing up in that way, from a place of scarcity? If you were thinking, I know for sure that plenty of clients want what I have to sell. I know for sure I have the right audience right now. I know for sure that even if I have 700 followers, 100 followers, 0 people in my email audience, I know for sure that there are people around me that want what I have to sell. Like, there's humans all around here There's for sure people that want what you have to sell. But when we think there's not enough people, we show up in a completely different way. And so I want you to notice what level of scarcity comes up with when you are on a sales call, because that is that little like energetic, like, I don't want to say, I was going to say, like, I'm not going to say that word. That energetic block is what people are going to feel, and what they won't feel safe buying from you, because they're going to feel, oh, she needs this. And so that's why in the beginning I was telling you, I want you to ask the question of like, wait, we're exploring this together. So how do you feel about this? Tell me what you love about, why would Juliana be the best coach for you? Like, that's literally one question that I have in my application form. Why do you think Juliana would be the best coach for you? Why not another person? And that really actually helps me explore, do I want to work with this person? Right? It's so important. It's so important that we detach from, oh my God, this next client has to close. No, there's plenty of people that want to work with you. And the way that you attract plenty of people is by having a clear message, by being so grounded in what you know and how you communicate the value of what you do, that it's just unquestionable. You know what to say, you know how to attract people, you know how to show up in your delivery, and like, that's it. You just keep repeating, keep like doing the same thing. It's so simple when you know how to communicate the value of what you do. So if you want to learn how to do that, if you want to learn, you got the knowledge and the money, thank you. If you want to learn how to really clarify your message, if you're amazing at what you do, and by saying amazing, I mean you didn't just start your coaching business yesterday. Like, you actually have had some clients in the past, you really have created transformation for them, and now you want more of those best clients, that best like category. You just want an overflow of those clients. I want to invite you to apply to the Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind. It's the last marketing mastermind that you will ever need. Really, I don't even say that, my clients do. And just go and check out the testimonials, because those speak for themselves. The transformations that happen inside of the program are beyond what I could even imagine. Like, I don't even think that it's me at this point doing the transformation. Really, God comes in and does like all the magic, and I'm just a vessel for the coaching that people need to receive. And so it's been, 12 rounds now of the Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind. So it's a process that is proven, that is tested. Like, you can trust that you'll be held. You can trust that you're gonna get the practical, you're gonna get the spiritual, you're gonna get the energetics, you're gonna get the mindset. You're gonna come out fully transformed. Ask anybody who has joined, you will hear their experience in really their transformation in those 3 months. There's just so much that comes up. So much that gets transformed, and so much that you're able to walk away with. You know exactly how to attract the right clients. You know exactly how to clarify your message, how to speak to the right people. You know what to do in order to like literally have people raise their hand to work with you. So it just gives you the full, I guess, blueprint, if you would want to say it. I don't like to talk about blueprints, because like everybody has their own blueprint, and we really adjust things so that they work for you. But the main thing that we do is help you communicate the value of what you do in a really powerful way. Just go check out the testimonials, really. Apply. You get an extra 2.5 months of coaching, because we start coaching you in June 15th, in the middle of June, and you get access to my higher level mastermind for those 2.5 months before we start the September cohort. So this is the best time to join, and you also get the early bird, which is $1,000 off. So honestly, like, this is the most, like, imagine instead of 3 months of coaching, you get like pretty much double. Like, is the best time to join. So you know where to find the link. Simone says, I've come to find out some coaches have more power than others. It has to be a much energetically for both of us. Yes. All right, my loves. It was so good to see you. I love you all. And I'm going to see you next week on another live training. Mwah. Bye.